Yo, what's up guys, it's Zach. We're going to be taking a look at the MEKUBAL today. I think that's how you pronounce it, which is the new destroyer that's coming. Absolutely insane. I think it is MEKUBAL, isn't it? Or MEKUBAL, however you want to pronounce it. It's probably like weird in my accent anyway. So this is the other destroyer that we're getting. We've already covered the Mamba in one of the previous videos. Not sure how many vids I've done since that. But this thing's pretty good. On the surface, it looks like a really good brawler, right? But in reality, it's got no like actual proper damage bonuses other than the roll bonus, which basically just gives it the 8 turret like the other destroyer. So we can fit 4 guns, but we'll get the damage of 8 because it's got that 100% small projectile turret damage. The destroyer bonus per level from the Minotaur side, we get projectile turret fall off. And from the Galante side, we got 7.5 bonus to tracking per level, guys. Don't forget per level. So the more you train your destroyer skills, the better these ships are going to be, especially since it's got 2 bonuses. And this is what I feel like it's going to be, just like a proper arty ship for the most part, I think, because fitting like even 200 mil autocannons, which are the biggest ones you can fit to this, the damage isn't that great even when it's heated. So, and that's because we don't actually have a double dip damage bonus. So in reality, I think this thing's going to be more suited to doing artillery damage, and man, you can do some like wicked alpha with this thing. Just for an example, the Wolf does, I think it's 1440, or let's just say 1400 alpha, like with 1 gyro, sorry. And with this thing, since we're normally going to be shield fitting it to go there with arties, we can get like 2 or 3 gyros and we can hit nearly 2k. So that's a big like damage boost. Obviously we're a lot slower, right? But we've got a few fits here. Swag, who also does YouTube, which I'm going to be pimping his channel out a little bit. I'll leave a link in the description of this one, but definitely someone, like if you want to see some high level like PvP stuff, go and check him out. And yeah, we're discussing fits and things in my pub channel, and this is the one he linked me. So this is just like a full like kitey artillery. So let's just chuck some fizz plasma in there. So you can see like even now, we're doing like 1865 alpha on a good hit, and usually you wouldn't normally overload arties because you don't get like any extra damage, you just get less cycle time because the cycle times on these are really long. So you do get a DPS increase, but really it's not worth the heat because these take like crazy amounts to load. The only thing I would say as well, because we're all going to be focused mainly on an arty platform, and this goes for any like arty ships as well, use the domination ammo because you do get a little bit of extra damage, and because we only put like 20 per gun, it's like semi-affordable depending on what damage type and what size you're using. So that's just a little bit food for thought from me there. But yeah, Swag's fits are really good. Let's just take a look at the list view here. So we've got the 280 mil arties, the medium shield extender, and this ship is actually classed as a shield ship as well. When you start putting armor stuff on, you get like warnings up here that it's obviously armor on a shield ship, but really I'm not sure that's right, because it's like got the Minotaur style thing going on where you can do like either or. Maybe they might need to look at removing that like error message from the fit or whatnot, because that could maybe confuse some new bros or whatnot. But yeah, so we've got some polycarbon for the speed and things. It's really not that quick. It's 2.8 cold, 3.9 heated, maybe with a quaif and some other drugs, you know, it's pretty nice. And yeah, just 3 gyros, which give it that crazy alpha. I think 2 gives you 1840. And even with 1, we're still doing nearly 200 more than the Wolf. So, I mean, the Wolf can do some damage to frigs. Like really kill, like, anti-reps and things, like the cycles. So, pretty good. And we've got the AM shield reinforcer because, obviously, we've got the lower resist there. It's probably, like, next to nothing, is it? Yeah, it's, like, 0 on the MIM shield. So yeah, that Swag's really nice. I'll probably definitely fly one of these myself. I mean, 3 or 4 of these in a pack with this amount of damage, I think is going to be really good, like just for like splatting cruisers. So it should be a lot of fun. So now we'll move on to my fits. So these are just ones I've been messing around with. Obviously, this is my fitting style, how I like it. Please just, if you want to copy it, fair enough, or just put your own personal flair on. That's just the way it is. Everyone fits ships differently, right? So for me, if I'm going out kiting and things, I know it's a little bit more expensive. I mean, it's 244 for the mods here. The ship price isn't included because it's not in the game yet. So you're looking at probably at least 150 mil for the ship, 200 mil, even when prices settle, right? So it is going to be a little bit of a pimpy boy. I'm just trying to compare it to the Wolf again. And I think the Wolf fitter flies like 280 mil. So like for me, it's decently like worth just whelping one of these just for the lols and whatnot. But yeah, just there's so much fitting room. You can just do like whatever you want with these things. So we've gone for the 280 mil Arties again. Corelli C Mighty Warp Drive, that's just for a little bit of speed, a little bit of less sig, and it's easier on the capacitor as well, because the cap's like really crap on this thing when you're doing it like this. We've got like 6 minutes with the Mighty Warp Drive on by itself, so that's not too bad, but when we're repping, it's like 50 seconds, so that's something we need to be aware of in this. The Republic Fleet Warp Disruptor, because we're going to be flying around the place, I do feel like RF points are worth it. Well, sorry, that should be a Caldari Navy one. Looking at it, that's my bad. Let's just switch that real quick. That'll probably bring the price way down. Yep. So yeah, it's even cheaper now. That's better. So these use like barely no cap to run, the Caldari Navy ones, and they're really light on CPU, which you can see. So that's with it like T2 everything else, man. Yeah, sorry, that's my bad there. And for me, since we're going to be using the damage control and the ANSI rep, I feel like we've already got 2 speed mods in there with the nano and the poly. So I like having a bit of buffer for me ANSI rep, like with the Daredevil and things. And again, this is just me. This is how I prefer it. You could fit like more resistance tank in there, or even like under that polycarb or something, or auxiliary thrusters or whatnot. Or damage. There's plenty of room for damage rigs because you've got like tons of power grid left. So just use your own thing. You could even put some newts or whatever in there. Again, I think this was the first one I did look at. So let's check out the next one. Hopefully that's got a proper thing on. So the next few fits are going to be 10 mm. And like I say, because we've got like so much fitting room, you can go crazy with this. Yeah, just forget the RF points there. We'll just pretend they're Caldari Navies. So we've got 280s in the tops again. We've got a 10 mm this time. And if we use the drugs and everything, we're going to be going super quick. This thing already does like 2k cold on afterburner and 2876 when it's heated. But you've got to remember, when you put oversized props on ships, they take ages to like accelerate. So if you're using especially an afterburner oversized prop, make sure you heat the first 1 or 2 cycles and you'll get up to speed pretty well. And also if you take the quiff and everything, you're going to be like going a little bit quicker. So that's definitely worth it. So we've got pimp in the middle. If you're going to pimp one thing, I would say definitely the stasis webifier, because heated, this can actually save your life. It's like 18 kilometers heated. So if a little interceptor's coming in, you can get them like webbed off at like 18k and just let those arties just like max supply, which is really nice. And you've got quite a lot of control with your range control and stuff if you do get like scram and webbed yourself, because you've got like such a good speed with that. Got a single gyro. We could probably T2 that if we had the right point on. Let's just switch that real quick, man. Feel like a bit of a scrub here. Caldari Navy. There we go. Yeah, so we'll definitely be able to T2 this thing. Just get it on there. A little bit extra tank. Yeah, why not? So that's nice. And we've got the small anti-rep. I don't think we've got bulkheads on this one because this one's like full kite, 10 mm. So we've got 2 polycarb rigs. So ship modification designed to increase ship's velocity and maneuverability. Of course, you can just do the velocity ones to go faster, but really because we're like using a thick 10 mm afterburner, we need to be able to turn a little bit quicker as well. So that's that. And the ANSI rig for the fitting. So you can actually fit like an oversized prop and the biggest arties and a rep. I think it's pretty good. So you can just see how like strong it is right here. I think it's going to be good dual props as well. I haven't built one of them, but there it is. Next one I was looking at was the 10 mm Brawl. So once I seen like how easy it was to fit the 10 mm, I was like, all right, we're just probably going to stick with that. I don't think, obviously the normal afterburner's fine, but I think you get so much out with the 10 mm, especially in a brawly one. And we've got a couple of NOSes on this as well, just to keep our cap going. So that's going to keep us actually stable. So we've got the biggest ACs you can fit. Let's load some ammo and I'll just show you the damage. So 275 DPS, so you can see it's not like actually great. And 316 heated. We've only got 1 gyro on though. But I think since we're armor fit, and there's that armor modules fit to a shield ship, so you can take that whichever way you want, right? But I think this one's got a decent amount of tank at least. So we've got a 400 plate on there, a 10mm, the biggest ACs, 2 NOSes. Yeah, it's like really good. The fits are going to be wild for this, like absolutely crazy. And we've got our anti-rep to go with our 400 plate there, just to keep her going. Make her nice and thick, right? Explosive armor reinforcer, because we're all going to be tanking quite a lot more than usual. And we've got 2 ANSI current routers just to help the fitting, so that might seem a little bit extreme, but I mean, again, this is just the way I was having a look at it. One thing I would say, if you're using the scram, the 10mm's quite hard to like sort of stay in that range, so I would just, if you're going to use it, like just be careful of how like thick this ship is. We've got no like polys on or nanos or anything, so it's going to be really heavy feeling to fly. Man, with snakes, this would be absolutely amazing. So that was that one, and then I thought, why not let's make a new one. I think this one's going to be the one I would use as a rule if I was brawling, right? So I think the newts just make it. Oh, too much in chat there. Let's just drag that back. So the only downside is we had to put the smallest auto cannons on. And we still got like 2 fitting mods, so I didn't really want to put a 3rd one on just to get big ones. But the damage over time, but because we've got like a lot of stuff on the newts as well. So we've got 245 DPS. We have got 2 small newts though, like don't sleep on the newts. Like 2 small newts are really good if you stagger them. You can well cap out like little frigs and other desis and things. Warp Scrambler 2, 10mm again. Cap booster just to keep those newts running and stuff. And we're anti-rep. And the low's pretty much the same as the last one. And the rigs as well. So yeah, just what I've threw together real quick when I've been thinking about it. Obviously we'll see how the meta shifts towards the arties, which I really do think it will. I'd be very surprised if it goes towards like tanky, brawly autocannons. Of course, that's definitely a thing, but I think for the most part, we're going to be seeing these things like flying around all over the place, like sitting at like 20k. I didn't actually check the range before as well. On the arties, just to give you a feel of how far we're going to be shooting out. So we've got 7.5k optimal and 27 kilometers. So yeah, that's a decent amount of damage right there. So just for a bit of a comparison, let's have a look at the wolf here. I want to fly real quick. Let's just put some of that in. So we've got pretty much 1 kilometer less fall off and a little bit less optimal. So it's basically like 1 kilometer less on each. And the wolf's only doing like 1441 alpha strike. Although it is like mega quick, right? Yeah, that's the ship. I think it's going to be really strong in the kite meta, or just like doing things, like I say, in nullsec, because you get that warp speed acceleration bonus and stuff, just like you do with this thing, which is absolutely nuts. It's just crazy. But yeah, hope you liked those fits, guys. Please let us know what you thought. If you've got your fits to share in the chat as well, I'd love that. And we'll see how all this turns out. But for now, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.